What's going on there, YouTube? And welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we're going to do Captain America and the Winter Soldier special #1. Yes, you heard that right, special. This was a one-shot story that was technically used as a way to kind of expand on the story they were trying to tell about the Outer Circle. Now remember, when it comes to the Outer Circle, they are a newer group in Marvel Comics. And when it comes to the Outer Circle, they've been around since 1922. As a matter of fact, they've been working behind the scenes, technically controlling the world behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is different events that happen in the world was thanks to the Outer Circle. So for example, World War I, World War II, and other wars like the Cold War, those wars right there are being controlled by, of course, the Outer Circle. And so when it comes to this special right here, it's kind of a way for us to learn more about them and learn how in the world did this all begin in the first place. And the question is right now, what could happen to the Winter Soldier? Because remember, he had joined the Outer Circle at the end of Volume 1. And so to begin today's storyline, we actually do pick up right now in the year 1922. Now, in the year 1922, of course, it takes place after World War I. Now, that right there is actually very important. And the reason why, because in World War I, there was a lot of death. Millions of people died. But of course, we actually pick up right now with Wolf Fortunev. Now, when it comes to Wolf Fortunev, he is going to be very important. And the reason why, because this is the guy who technically makes the Outer Circle. Because thanks to World War I, you have Wolf say, I believe that the human race is going to die one day. That technically, when it comes to the human race, it is doomed to fail. And that right there is a problem. And so to make sure that the human race doesn't fail, we need someone out there to actually control the human race. And of course, that is the Outer Circle. Now, right now, he is telling all this information over to a guy known as Gavrilo. Now, Gavrilo is also going to be very important for this storyline. And the reason why? Because in the present day, he was the Revolution. Remember, when it comes to the Outer Circle, each member technically represents something different when it comes to the world, machine, love, power, revolution, and the list goes on. Now, in Volume 1 of Sentinel of Liberty, we actually saw the revolution be killed off by the Winter Soldier because he wanted James Barnes, of course, Winter Soldier, to technically take his place in the Outer Circle. Because when it comes to Gavrilo, when he does talk to Wolf back in the year 1922, at first he believes that Wolf is crazy about the whole idea of controlling society, controlling the human race. And he's kind of like, that's a bad idea because sooner or later we're gonna fail. Like, how in the world do you believe that we have the right moves or the right mindset to actually control the entire world? Now, that is the moment where we do see other members of the Outer Circle actually appear. And of course, they were given the same offer by Mr. Wolf as a way to say, let's come together and control the human race. Because if we do, we can be sure it will not fail. The human race will survive thanks to us because we are technically the smartest people in the world. We know what to do to make sure that the human race doesn't fail. And so right now, you have everybody else say yes to Mr. Wolf's offer. But when it comes to Gavrilo, he's kind of like no at first, but then he says yes. Now, here's the thing though. You can tell right off the bat that when it comes to Gavrilo, he wants to stop the Outer Circle. He believes that this is a bad idea. And so right now, he only joined them to hopefully stop them. Now, as we saw in the present day, he died because he wanted the Winter Soldier to actually replace him, to bring down the Outer Circle. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, you said the year 1922. How in the world right now are they still alive? Of course, technology. Apparently back then, they had some advanced technology to be able to stay alive over 100 years. And so then we jump over to the present day. Now, when we do jump over to the present day, we actually do pick up right now with the first meeting of the Outer Circle, but with the Winter Soldier being involved, because now he is the new Revolution. Now, here's the thing though, because the old Revolution wanted Winter Soldier to join the group so that he'll be able to actually destroy the group from the inside out. But here's the thing, the Winter Soldier has his own reasons of why he wants to get rid of the Outer Circle. And his reasons is all about the idea that the Outer Circle had controlled his entire life. Let me explain. So remember, when it came to the Outer Circle, they want to make sure that everything is under their control. But on top of that, they did control certain people in their entire lives. And so when it came to Bucky, his entire life was technically a lie, meaning that the Outer Circle had controlled his entire life. They planned everything out for him. And so everything we saw for the Winter Soldier was technically planned by these guys right here, including the times when he was an assassin. Now, with that being said, when it comes to the Outer Circle, they have 5 assassins. Now, we saw 4 of them in the last video. 1 is dead, and that right there is a destroyer, and 1 technically left the group completely. But the last 2 are really important, which is the Winter Soldier, but now he's part of the Outer Circle, and the other assassin is Peggy Carter, of course, the old girlfriend of Steve Rogers. Now here's the thing though, there's still 1 more assassin out there that we have no idea about. And the question is right now, who is that assassin? Now, with that being said though, you do have the Winter Soldier actually take his chance in trying to kill off the Outer Circle. But the thing is, the Outer Circle been around for over 100 years, which means that they know what you're trying to do. They can easily figure out what you're trying to do. And so with that, his attempt is actually a failure. They were able to stop him. And then they remind him there are rules that you are not allowed to technically attack other members of our group at all. And so right now, it's technically saying if the Winter Soldier wants to actually bring down the Outer Circle, he has to find a better way, because right now, guns is not going to work at all. He has to find a more, unique kind of way. Now that is the moment where you do have Bucky actually go to his room. Now when he does go into his room, it's him right now trying to think of a more unique way of how he's going to actually take down the Outer Circle. But at the same time, he apologizing right now to Steve Rogers, because it's him saying, look what I did. I betrayed Steve Rogers one more time, thinking that I'll be able to actually bring down the Outer Circle so easily. But unfortunately, I cannot do that, which now seems like I'm going to have to play even dirtier than I wanted to actually be able to take down the Outer Circle, which means that this could actually affect other things down the road. Now with that being said, that is the moment where he's actually confronted by another member of the Outer Circle. And that would be Anna. Now, Anna technically represents love in the Outer Circle. And with her right now, this is her kind of giving us that vibe that technically she does not trust the other members of the Outer Circle anymore. And matter of fact, she feels like right now they are completely corrupted. And so right now it seems like she wants to build an alliance with Bucky Barnes in a way of saying, let us help each other out to technically get what we both want when it comes to the Outer Circle. Now we have no idea what she wants, but we do know what Bucky wants right now, which is to get rid of the Outer Circle. And so at the same time, it could mean the same thing for her as well, to get rid of the Outer Circle or to be able to leave the Outer Circle. Now she does give Bucky Barnes a gift. Now when it comes to this gift, it's really more of a statue of a gun, but she says, listen, I want you to realize that you need to forge your weapon in a different way before you actually fire it. Now, the meaning of that sentence is actually actually very important. And the reason why, because it's her saying you need to actually think of a weapon you could use against the other members of the outer circle. And then once you're ready, use that weapon to take us down. And so think of a more unique way of how to take us down. And then she leaves the room. But then we jump over to Peggy Carter, who's right now in London. Now, this is Peggy realizing that what Bucky told her in a previous storyline is actually true. That technically she was one of the 5 assassins who had worked for the Outer Circle. Here's the thing though. Her and Bucky, they had no idea that this entire time they were technically assassins for the Outer Circle. Now, when it comes to Peggy, she truly believed that she was doing some good in the world, but in reality, she was helping out the Outer Circle. Now, Bucky told her, but she did not believe Bucky at all at first. And the reason why? Because Bucky was technically a bad guy for a good period of time in the Marvel timeline. Now, yes, he is good, but this is Peggy saying, I still don't trust you at all. But now she knows that what Bucky told her is actually true. Now, you do have Bucky being able to actually communicate with Peggy and saying, listen, now you know what I said was true. I need your help. Unfortunately, I have joined the Outer Circle. And so with that being said, I really can't do much like I want to. And so I have to use you. I want you to technically be my eyes and ears out in the field when it comes to different things the Outer Circle is trying to do. Now, I'm going to make sure to keep you out of their reach, to make sure there's no way they can figure out that you're technically helping me out right now. But either way, I need your help out there to help me in here to take out the Outer Circle. And of course, you have Peggy say yes. And so right now, Peggy is technically the Winter Soldier's super spy. But then we actually pick up with the Outer Circle one more time for this video. And this is where we actually see the Outer Circle begin the process of playing their next round of games. Now remember, when it comes to the Outer Circle, each member technically represents something else in the world. So for example, you have one guy being the power of the world, the next person the money of the world, one person the machine, another person the love, and the last but not least, the revolution. Now, when it comes to Bucky Barnes, when it comes to his move for the next round of games, he says Sharon Carter to Steve Rogers. Now, this right here could mean a lot, because this could mean that technically Sharon Carter is the final assassin out of the 5 assassins the Outer Circle has been using. Because remember, we had already learned the other 4. We had no idea who was the 5th. And it seems like right now, Sharon Carter is the 5th. And Bucky might use Sharon Carter to go after Steve Rogers. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.